and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. We are going to be talking today about something that is in the hearts, minds, tongues of pretty much everybody in this country, probably the world. And we have pretty much the experts on the Treasure Coast that are going to talk to us about the opioid crisis. Again, you know, as I said, the president's talking about it, the legislature. It's something we need to deal with, and these women know better than anybody about the crisis. Let's go ahead and do some introductions. We first have Jen Timothy. And Jen, all you women are with the New Horizons of the Treasure Coast, and we've got to talk about what that is, because there's some of the viewers that may not know, but we'll get to that in a minute. Jen Timothy, she is the program manager, not for the opioid crisis, for New Horizons. Deb Dreyer, who is the chief clinical officer for New Horizons, and then we have Amanda Aldsmeds. Did I do that? Aldismeds, who is a registered nurse. So welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
Deb, let's start with you, if you don't mind. Put you on the hot seat. Please tell the viewers what New Horizons is in our world, you know.
Sure.
But
New Horizons is the community mental health center for the Treasure Coast. So that's Indian River, Martin, St. Lucie, and Okeechobee counties. We provide mental health care and substance use treatment for people who are unable to pay, for people with Medicaid, and we'll take people who are insured.
You'll take real money.
We will take money.
Good.
But we pretty much, we have every possible program you can think of in mental health. So we do community treatment. We go out into people's homes. We do wraparound for kids.
Right.
We have psychiatrists, therapy, case management. We have an inpatient. We're a Baker Act receiving facility. We're a Marchman Act
what
receiving
is
facility.
a Baker Act and a Marchman Act?
If somebody is Baker Acted, it's because they have shown that they're a danger to themselves or others, or are gravely disabled, unable to care for self in some way, and somebody's concerned and feels that they're unable then to make decisions about what they might need, so they're brought into us, and we have them see a psychiatrist to provide them with a safe environment as they de-escalate. Marchman Act is the same thing for substance abuse.
Okay, and you've been in this field. Come on now, Deb.
Over 35 years.
God bless you. God bless you. And you're still sane, so that's
questionable.
And Jen, you tell us about you.
I'm currently the program manager for the medication-assisted treatment program, which is brand new to New Horizons, so we're very excited, especially in the heart of the opioid crisis. This is something that is a wonderful option for so many of our clients. Prior to being in medication-assisted treatment, I was on the detox unit at New Horizons.
Okay.
So I definitely have been very aware and seen the increase in the opioids and the overdoses and the need for a program like MAT and just allowing clients to have other options and everything like that, because it has certainly increased and it's alarming. And
got to do something about it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And Amanda, tell us about you.
I have been in the medical field my entire life. Began in radiology, and then I went back to school for nursing. I did internship at New Horizons with the substance abuse, and I had a passion for it. So last year, whenever they began the medication-assisted treatment, I joined New Horizons and assist our clients to help with the opioid crisis.
And I don't mean to be so basic, but explain, if you will, what medicated assistance treatment is. I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, it's kind of self-defining, but what is that?
Medication-assisted treatment at New Horizons, we offer two forms of medication.
Okay.
One of them is Suboxone, and the other one is Vivitrol.
Okay, and those are both for opioid addiction.
The Suboxone is. Vivitrol actually treats opioid addiction and alcoholism.
Okay. And the the legislature, and then we're going to start talking about why we're here, but the legislature did this year because, actually not because of the well, somewhat because of the opioid crisis. I don't want to speak for them. Whatever. They did it. Because of that, and then the shootings in Fort Lauderdale, they, thank goodness, have earmarked some additional funding for those with mental illness. Did they not?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. They're bringing more money for school counselors and to provide support for the schools. There's also more money through the federal government and the state for the opioid crisis as well.
Okay.
But that goes not just to treatment and health care, but also a little bit to law enforcement.
Right, right.
Which is not my wheelhouse, but
right.
that's...
What, Deb, if you will, if you can, what is an opioid? Again, we're basic, but what is it? And how has it become a crisis?
Well, opioids were originally extracted from the poppy plant, and they've been used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And what they do to the brain is that when you take an opioid for whatever means, all drugs do this, they go to the part of the body, including the brain, and they attach to the nerve cells in the brain, and they cause reactions in the nerve cells so that the nerves transmit things.
Right.
What opioids do is they can make you feel really good. They also can take away some pain.
Right.
But they also depress your ability to breathe.
Okay.
So that's where we run into the overdose. If your ability to breathe is depressed enough, obviously you're not breathing, and that's a critical medical issue. We have natural feel-good chemicals in the brain. They're necessary for our survival because we need to feel good when we eat and when we drink water and when we love our children, and that is there for survival of the species. But opioids give you way too much. And they make you feel, if I can say, too good, and then
of course then there's the letdown.
Right. But what happens is that once given opioids, and many people who are addicted are addicted honestly. They were actually prescribed these opioids by physicians.
And give me, and again, because this is a topic that, unless you're in the criminal justice system, as whatever, it's foreign to you. You don't. Give me an example. Is oxycodone cotton an opioid?
There you go.
Okay.
Hydrocodone, Amanda. Morphine, any others? Tramadol.
Percocets, tramadols.
Yep.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we got most of them.
And when you say innocent, and oh my goodness, talk about something that tugs at my heart, is that I see our clients in the criminal justice system, as you say, it's one thing to say, okay, I want to, snort cocaine, or I want to smoke cocaine, or I want some heroin. So you go and make a conscious choice to buy it. And that's an addiction, and we can talk about that, and I'm not being, but it really is sad when somebody has a back injury or whatever, and all of a sudden the doctors, instead of saying, well, here's 3 oxycodone to get you through the next, but then you should be able to be okay, they're prescribing 50 of them, and all of a sudden, 6 months later, they can't function without them. I mean, and that's what you're speaking about, right, Deb?
That is what I'm speaking about. But I don't want to run around and blame physicians for all of this.
No,
because,
I'm not. But
there was a point around 2000, Joint Commission made pain management the 5th vital sign. So you get your blood pressure, your temperature, pulse, respiration, pain. And when you go to the ER, you would see these happy faces and sad faces, and you would choose which one you were. So once you say, I have all this pain, physicians at that time
want to deal with it.
and told to treat it. So this is just sort of the perfect storm of awful stuff that happened to bring us to the opioid crisis. But I think what's also critical is, I tell people when I speak about this, it's not your grandfather's heroin anymore.
Yeah.
So it's laced with fentanyl, and worse, carfentanil. Fentanyl is many times more potent than morphine, and it was used in end-stage cancer.
Yeah.
Carfentanil is an elephant tranquilizer.
Right. Yeah.
So these are bound to depress your respiratory system to the point where you're going to overdose.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny. I was talking not recently, a year ago probably, to the medical examiner who does all the autopsies. And he was saying, oh my gosh, Diamond, it's, you know, that we're seeing, you know, the fentanyl, you know, overdoses, you know, it just takes a little bit, I guess, you know. And he said that's what we're seeing time and time again. They're just, you know, like, and I guess marijuana is the same way. It's not the marijuana, you know.
It would be what people would put in it.
Right, exactly.
And the same thing, and I want to warn people that it's also cocaine is now being laced as well.
Yeah, with the
because
fentanyl.
that's a pretty big drug here on the Treasure Coast.
Right.
And so it's important to get the word out.
Yeah.
We
That
have
you can-
clients, and on the heels of that, we've had clients come in who are very honest, and they
Yeah.
come in saying, you know, recently I've been taking heroin, and we do labs and toxicology and everything, and the reports come back, and there is no heroin in their system. It's complete fentanyl.
Wow. Oh.
And they don't even know.
Yeah.
So it's frightening.
Well, you girls are kind of on the road with some of the stuff, and I don't mean that. I mean that with great respect. But I mean to give us, Amanda or Jen, tell us. We've got some things on the table here, but the state of Florida has stepped in to deal with this in many ways, and one of the ways is with the Narcan. Tell me what you girls are doing, you know, with that, and how you've taken it on the road, so to speak.
Well, at our facility, we do offer all of our clients and family members, anybody that knows, anybody that might have an addiction problem, free Narcan.
Right.
With training, we train them like how to use Narcan. Narcan is the actual overdose reversal medication.
Right.
So if somebody does overdose, the reason that they're overdosing is because, like Deb said, their respiratory system shut down.
Right.
So their heart can still be beating, but they're not breathing.
Right.
And the only thing that's going to wake them up is the Narcan, which is naloxone.
Right.
It's more, has a higher affinity for the brain receptors, and it'll knock off the opioids that are on there that's
I gotcha.
causing their breathing to stop.
So all of a sudden they're sober.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And full withdrawal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've had such an increase in the overdoses and the deaths around not just Florida, but nationwide.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the governor did release an order to supply Narcan to those family members.
Is that what you've got with you?
We
Yes.
brought a
Yeah.
couple samples today. There's different forms of Narcan, but what we give out at our facility is the nasal spray.
Right.
So it's just like any kind of a nasal spray, like Afrin. You would just inject it into the client's nostrils when they're unresponsive.
Right.
And within 2 to 3 minutes, if it is truly an overdose, they will usually come to.
What if they don't? Do you do it again?
If they don't, you repeat it in 2 to 3 minutes, every 2 to 3 minutes.
And this is the stuff, is it not, that all the firefighters have, and the EMTs,
Yes.
the law enforcement?
Yes.
I guess they're just walking around with this stuff now with all the epidemic. Wow.
So many of their
Goodness.
calls are to overdoses.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And this is, now, if someone's watching this show and they know are aware of a situation that may happen, can they come to New Horizons
Yes,
and
please.
say, can I have my free Narcan, please?
Absolutely.
All right.
If they come to 4500 West Midway Road and come right into the building where the awning is
Okay,
and come to the
no.
front desk and ask for Jen and Amanda or Narcan, we'll give it to you.
And that's-
the training's a 7-minute video.
Oh,
It's really,
really?
really easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not, there's confidentiality, obviously. I mean, you're not going to pick up the phone and call, or go next door to the sheriff's department and
Absolutely
say,
not.
John Doe just walked in and wants some Narcan. You better
No.
follow him because
Not
he's...
No.
Right. Okay. Okay. So this has really saved lives then.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
did a training a couple of weeks ago and got word back that somebody who had Narcan in their car came across somebody who was overdosed in a car on the side of the road and used the Narcan.
Wow.
So it does save lives.
God.
It does.
Well, what else can we as a community, obviously, if we know of somebody with an addiction, steer them toward New Horizons and getting help. But what else is there that as a community or for people that are watching that they can do? How do you get, Jen, somebody that is that is in the community, people know they have an addiction. How do you coax them to get them to come to New Horizons and maybe get help?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's really important just to be supportive, and for families and friends who know of somebody, just to offer help, offer assistance, offer your support. Make sure they are aware of all the resources out there and because there are many options. The road to recovery isn't the same for everybody.
Right.
That's why, especially at New Horizons too, we have all these individualized options.
Right.
So, we have a detox unit, we have residential care, we have medication-assisted treatment. So it's just allowing your loved one to know, we're here for you, we want to, provide you with hope and assistance and get you to where you need to be. It takes some time for a lot of people to kind of take that leap.
Right.
And trust that they're going to get that help, because there is a lot of stigmas out there and shame and guilt and things that are very challenging to get over.
I think understanding addiction as a disease.
Right.
The medical,
and I'm glad. Let's talk about that for a moment because it's great.
The medical community recognizes addiction as a disease. Even if you make a so-called choice to try these drugs, it may be because of trauma that you've experienced previously in your life that has also caused some neurochemical changes in your brain. I could get into that all day, but I won't. But if we understand it as a disease, and as a disease like hypertension, like diabetes, we treat those diseases.
Heart disease. Cancer.
Right.
Yeah,
Blood pressure.
nobody says, oh my God, you have... I don't want to talk to you. You've got cancer. You've got heart disease.
You made a choice to have cancer.
Yeah, right.
Right.
And so, and these diseases are often managed through medication. I mean, if you take diabetes as a really good example, it's managed by medication, but doctors also recommend diet and exercise for sure.
Right.
So the same with addiction. There is medication that can help you handle your addiction. And what that does is it stabilizes the brain chemistry. And people will say when they go on Suboxone, for instance, I feel normal again. They're not high because it's not that good of a drug.
Right.
They're just feeling normal again and they can get jobs. And then we recommend not just the medication, but also counseling.
Right.
And finding different supports in your life, in the community. So it's not unlike diabetes.
Well,
or
look at people, with high cholesterol, with thyroid disease, you're on it. There is no stigma attached to taking I don't have high cholesterol, thank you. Yeah, Lipitor. That's what I'm thinking. But nobody says, "Oh my God, how long have you been taking that?" Oh, forever. Oh, geez,
Right.
So. The Suboxone, Deb, that is something to help with addiction. Do you have to take that the rest of your life?
You don't have to.
But some people do?
But some people could, but you don't have to.
Right.
And at New Horizons and many other good programs around the Treasure Coast, we do require counseling.
Right, right. To wean you off of the...
Well, you get to a point where you are able to say, and Jen can speak to this more, maybe I don't need this anymore, right?
Yeah, we have, we are new, but we do have some clients that have been involved for quite some time.
Right.
And some of them are kind of in that preparation mode to taper off. They're in a better place.
It's like a friend of mine who has had diabetes, still has it, but she was put on metformin, lost a lot of weight. She was able to go off the metformin.
Right.
So it really depends on each individual.
Yeah. Well, but let's distinguish something here because I think it's important. There is a difference between Suboxone and addiction and weaning off and counseling than someone, let's say, that's schizophrenic. There are some severely, seriously mentally ill people that can never, as we kid in our diversion courts, we want to in drug court, we want to keep them off drugs. In mental health court, we want to keep them on drugs.
And
I mean, but it's true because what happens is that same person that's seriously mentally ill, that's schizophrenic, starts feeling better. And that's when the trouble happens. They go off their meds because now I'm feeling better, and they cannot do it for the rest of their life, right, Deb?
Well, sure. And schizophrenia is a different disease from addiction, and just like hypertension is different from diabetes. And with schizophrenia, they go off the medication for a lot of reasons, but one of them is those are rough medications.
Yeah.
They have some really tough side effects for people. And so, yes, most of the time they'll need to stay on them to stabilize for the rest of their lives. But also, I think we just talked about more money in mental health, but we need a lot more. There are some really good studies out there that if we catch people at first break in schizophrenia, they have a much better disease course.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So that's a very tough disease, but it is better, yes, if they
Well, and
stay on
again,
their
it's
meds.
so much different than, but I don't want people, I know even family members, you see them sometimes saying, well, why can't he go off this? It's so expensive or whatever, but some people can't. Amanda or Jen, maybe you can answer. Aren't we in the state of Florida, 50th or 49th in funding for mentally ill people?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We are.
I think we're
our
49th
CEO
or 50th.
says 49.50. We
Yeah,
go.
cheater.
Yeah.
We go back and forth, and I just was reading some studies the other day. The opioid crisis itself, not the number of overdoses, but the rate of increase. Pennsylvania's number 1, Florida's number 2
Yeah, I mean.
in the rate of increase.
Wow. And how have you, now you've been with New Horizons how long, Amanda?
Since September last year.
Okay, and you?
7 years.
7 years. And you,
3.
like me, 100.
Well, a New
I know,
Horizons
but in the
is
mental health field,
over 35.
Have you really, are you really able to say, oh my gosh, I'm seeing could you feel it before it got to this crisis mode? Little by little, there were more and more and more and more. I mean,
Working on a detox unit, I can definitely say you start seeing red flags.
right.
And you start seeing more, with our clients, they go through a screening process first. So
Right,
you have a full
right.
bio before you sit with them.
Right.
And you see in the reports, overdose, history of overdoses, history of 9 overdoses, so those definitely started to show and were increased and were present probably a few years ago. So
How many overdoses can you have?
Many.
Very many.
Many, as long as
Yeah.
you're brought back.
Wow.
Yeah, and the pill mills were shut down in Florida in 2010.
Right.
So people were coming to get their OxyContin and their hydrocodone, and so when they shut down, that's when we really started to see an uptick in illegal heroin, and
Right.
and then they lace it with fentanyl.
Wow. But it's such a shame, though, as a community, we can't, no one would be a better gauge of what is about to happen than, the three of you and so many people that work in the field. I mean, it's so bad that no one listens until we're,
At a crisis.
we're where we are now,
Yeah.
because we could have done something to head it off, somewhere. Well, what is we're almost out of time. I always do, I have the most interesting guests in the field. I'm so lucky. No, I'm very blessed. I have great people talking, but what is the most, I guess, rewarding thing? We'll start with you that you're seeing or have done, or in the mental health field. What gives you the passion to still stay in this field? Because it's got to be tough.
It is tough. It is very tough. But what I thrive on is seeing the transformation.
Right.
I mean, we have some clients that have come a really long way since
Yeah.
they've been with our program.
Yeah.
We have some that have been in our program for 7 months now.
Right.
And just to see them, you
Yeah.
know, they look different. They look
Vibrant.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
they've got color back
Right.
in their face. They're happy again. They've lost some weight. They've obtained jobs.
Yeah.
They've started, you know, got their families back or got their kids back.
Yeah.
You know, were able to save their marriage. You know, those are the things. And then hearing them express that they feel normal,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, I feel like you.
Yeah.
I feel like that person over there.
Right.
That
Right.
is what the reward to me is.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
to
it's
see
gotta
them
be.
and to change. And
Yeah.
a lot
I
of
know
them
you had
say,
a
thanks
part."
so much because
Right.
you gave me back my life.
Right. Right.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deb?
Part of what keeps me in the field is the changes I've seen over the years.
Positive
and
change,
they're
yeah.
very positive changes from when I entered the field back in Florence Nightingale's time and everybody was locked up. And now to see people
Oh, yeah,
able
you've
to
had
live in
to
the
see-
community
oh, yeah.
is really good. And then the second thing very quickly is with this opioid crisis, for me it's personal. We lost a niece in
Wow.
2008. We were in Pennsylvania at the time. She was one of the early fentanyl victims, 19 years old.
Oof.
And I have told people that I would give anything to have her alive on Suboxone today
Yeah.
because you can't treat somebody who's already gone.
Yeah.
So this is personal.
Well, and, you know, I remember you saying this at the board meeting, that, you know, people can, you know, tend to be, again, critical of, well, you know, they may not be on oxycodone, but they're on Suboxone. What's the difference? Whatever. But they're alive, and there's hope, and they may get better, and they may be healthy again. So rather than not being around. So no, it's, you know, we all tend to be, you know, so critical of people when you haven't walked in their shoes, and
Right.
it's, you know, especially in this arena, and, you know, shame on them. But
yeah.
Jen,
On the heels of Amanda too, it's definitely a transformation. Actually, yesterday I just learned of somebody that I used to work with who overdosed. So
and died.
yes,
Ooh.
yeah, she did. And so, you know, a lot of these people that we see coming into detox or MAT, we are familiar with. You know, they've been there before. This is not their first time at the rodeo. You know,
Right.
so for me, it's just I want to provide them with any assistance and help I can, and just bring education and awareness out into the communities, because it's not going anywhere. And these people, you know, so for me, the transformation, seeing them kind of have this new sense of life and purpose, and seeing that hope be restored, you know, all
Right.
those things, you can't put a price tag on that.
Oh no! Those are the intangible great
Yes.
things. Well, I just want to say, keep up the great work. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep saving our community, and for the viewers, if you need help, you know, go to you girls, go to New Horizons, because help is there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you so much. This was a
Thank
great
you.
show.
Thank you.